a primary, a secondary, and a supervisor, as well as that backup unit. A full pursuit package now into oncoming lanes again. A wide right turn over those double yellow lines, and the LAPD airship calling the location from above. Now, we don't see that night sun just yet, but they may very well turn that back on as well. Right now, doing about 50 miles per hour down Satakoy once again. So we made our way off of Satakoy for a brief moment through a shopping center for really what appears to be a random turn into that shopping center. No reason at all. And now he is back on Satakoy.
This truck doesn't look like it's in the best condition. It looks pretty old. Looks like lots of different panels have been placed on it over the years. A lot of junk in the back. The paint job's pretty messed up. As you can tell, you see the driver waving out the window there. Trying to kind of piece together what we're dealing with here. It's got plates that don't belong on it. Cold plates is the term that you and law enforcement use. Basically means it's got plates that belong to another vehicle, and that sparked the interest of the LAPD, and then the pursuit followed that.
Yeah, that's usually just the beginning of the story, right? Because you would think that if it was just as simple as a misunderstanding, then they would just pull over. But obviously, there is much more to this story, and we'll see. Look at, he's pulling into maybe an alleyway. Okay, so he's in a very narrow alleyway off of Loma Verde Avenue in Canoga Park. That appeared to be another random turn there, but as you mentioned, you got to wonder what else is going on. What other crimes have been committed? What is he associated with? Is there a warrant out for his arrest? Something is preventing him from just simply pulling over and giving himself up here. Whatever it is, it's probably not worth it, but in his mind right now, it is worth it. He thinks he has an opportunity to maybe outrun police, or maybe just enjoying his final few moments of freedom if it is indeed a joyride. Just based on the behavior behind the wheel, you could even make a rationale for a possible driver who is maybe under the influence and is just, unclear how he wants to end the night here. So there's the airship right overhead, the night sun back on him, and we still have those 4 units easily able to keep up with him. The good news as we continue through the valley here, not much traffic so far, but it just takes one wrong turn, one wrong move, somebody crossing the street, and then it could be trouble. But right now, he is, just doing about maybe just a little over the speed limit. Once he gets into these residential neighborhoods, that's when you start to really perk up, and hopefully that night sun will give a warning to anybody down there who maybe even is just, has taken out the trash or whatever. Now is the time to stay inside and out of the way of LAPD.
Wow, well, he's not going to be able to outrun anybody in that thing, I don't think. It looks pretty old. It's barely making these turns. You see the tires spinning. He's running through a stop sign there, one of several, as you pointed out, that he has done. I don't know what sort of speeds this thing is capable of making at this point, but the driving is erratic nonetheless. And the fact that he's in this residential neighborhood still poses a danger to the people in this neighborhood. Hopefully everybody's inside. If you are inside and you're watching this and you live in the area of Wyandotte and Millwood Avenue in Canoga Park, my suggestion is that you keep your doors and windows locked, because if he bails on foot, he may be looking to escape on foot, and that means he may be coming at your residence. So you want him to be unable to do that. He's now in another alleyway. Is he stopping here?
More random turns, a slow crawl through this alleyway, and now he gasses it. So you almost get the impression maybe he's looking for a spot to dump the vehicle and then, run on foot. But right now he's not stopping. He's kind of playing a game of cat and mouse with these random turns, doing a big circle just off of Satakoy. So we're still not far from Satakoy. We've made our way from Van Nuys to Canoga Park, and he's just basically doing loops. If he establishes a pattern, that could present an opportunity for that spike strip. But you saw he slowed down in the alleyway. They pulled up right behind him, just a few feet behind him, and then he just gassed it. You can see that smoke coming from the rear tires as he gassed it, pretty much for no reason, just toying with these officers, essentially. Another strip mall. This is going to be off of Sherman Way. An empty shopping center. He's going to come out the other side, and look at that. There's a black and white waiting for him on the other side there. No spike strips ready, but probably just happenstance that officer Yeah, the closer they get, the faster he goes, which is why, which may be why they originally put it into tracking mode. And my gut tells me they may even do that again. He just blew through another red light here, but not extremely fast. He did slow down for it, blew through the red light. They're going to go through that red light with him, and he is, as you mentioned, kind of slowing down just a little bit. I'm noticing, Mark, that night sun is off again, and those units, as we pulled out there, you saw those units pulling back maybe about a block away at most, but I wonder if that watch commander has put this back into tracking mode, which is what we've been discussing here. I think that might be the case, as we now see a little bit less pressure applied. He's not being chased at a close distance, although surely he's aware of their presence, obviously. Just a quick look in the rearview mirror, and he knows what he's up against here. But that helicopter's turned off the night sun, and I believe we'll know for sure if we see those front sirens turned off. You know, even when it's in tracking mode, you'll see the sirens. So we're still on Nordhoff, and what you've noticed here, he's coming up on Corbin Avenue, making a right turn there, and he's making these wide right turns for no apparent reason. That wasn't even exceptionally fast, but a wide right, still in purview of LAPD here. But you saw as they pulled back once again, just like we saw earlier when we first joined you with this pursuit, he pushed it. He started going much faster. Normally, when they pull back and they give them a little bit of breathing room, typically we see the drivers kind of that initiated the pursuit. Now, that would be the northeast corner of the valley. Think of neighborhoods like Pacoima, Artesia, that area. That may be where he wants to end up. He may weave his way back into an area where he's more familiar with, if that is indeed the case. That's where it started. No guarantees that's where it'll end, but if history is any indication, it's a good possibility he may take us right back to that general part of the valley. In any event, continuing eastbound on Roscoe Boulevard through Northridge here, and in another few lights, he will pass Van Nuys Airport, Mark.
When you've got somebody who may be impaired or may be going through some sort of mental crisis or something like that, we don't know the motive for this. But, he's in a truck that can't outrun the LAPD cruisers. He's in a truck that, doesn't look like it's going to be able to do too much and go too much longer. I mean, it can't be getting that great of gas mileage. It's an older model vehicle, pretty heavy, and we don't know how much gas is in it. But as he does this, the best thing that could happen for this person is that he ends up getting arrested.
Right.
That's the best thing that can happen. The worst is that he causes an accident or gets in an accident or some sort of a use of force situation by the LAPD. But he can kind of dictate what happens. He's in charge, really, of how this all goes as he runs a red light. That's one of several that we've been witnessing.
Yep.
The LAPD is responding as best they can, although
Yeah, I almost wonder if he's maintaining control through some of those turns. He is back on. He's on. Look at this. Okay, so he sees some traffic up ahead, and that's when he crosses over the double yellow lines through this red light again. We're going to hold back here as some traffic lands at Van Nuys Airport. What I was about to say was that the challenging part for LAPD is that because it's a cold-plated vehicle, which essentially means that the license plate does not match the vehicle description that they're looking at here, they do not know much about the suspect. They are working in the blind, not exactly sure who or what they are dressed as he was earlier when those units were right behind him. So that airship likely will take this to the end. We could continue along with him here, but barring any other dangerous moves here, it may just turn out to be another one that got away. Temporarily. Another red light. Three in a row, now getting on the freeway, yeah. Northbound 405. Northbound 405, which is going to end here, and will put him in about a mile onto the 5 freeway, which has about 3 to 4 miles of valley left before he ends up in the Newhall Pass. And so my suspicion, again, these are just educated guesses, is that he will likely take this into the Sylmar area or somewhere thereabouts and get off the freeway at one of these exits. But right now, continuing northbound 405, making our way into Sylmar, coming up on the 5 freeway now. And I think that overpass will, that'll now put him on. So not not what you would have thought. And in fact, I'm a little bit surprised that CHP took the bait. But hey, why not? If they've got the resources and, this guy is running through these red lights, why in the world not? So he now has 3 CHP units southbound, and it looks like he's taking the 405. Southbound 405, Mark. They sure do. That's exactly. Ooh, wow! Look at that. Was that? Yeah. Did he? Okay, so he got off. The 2 continued, but he still has. That's still a black and white behind him, right, Rob? Yeah. 1 CHP unit right behind him as he gets off at Rinaldi, and that's interesting. That's really interesting. Well, you're so right, Mark. It could be a very minor crime, or it could be a very, very serious crime. We just don't know, and so that's reason enough to follow this through, especially considering that they have the available resources to do so. So here you have at least 1 CHP unit. If we widen that a little bit, is there anybody else, Rob, behind him? Just the 1. So that's interesting. Just the 1 black and white behind him. And the LAPD airship overhead, now westbound on Rinaldi. My hunch, so here's what we're looking at here. If he continues driving within the speed limit, within the parameters of the law, and stops going through these red lights, without any backup, it is less likely that CHP unit will engage in a pursuit by himself. However, if he starts to blow through these red lights unnecessarily, that will change the equation. So that primary unit right there has not seen him break any laws that we know of just yet. At least for the last several minutes, he's been somewhat behaved ever since he got onto the 405. And now he is off back into LAPD's jurisdiction in their Mission Hills division. And he's actually going relatively slow, whether that's because he sees that CHP unit behind him or he's just more composed is anybody's guess. But he's now doing about the speed limit, westbound Rinaldi. And if that continues, I would venture to say that CHP unit will likely let him go. But, it's anybody's guess because one wrong move and all of a sudden, is there more pulling in? He made a turn, so he let him go. Yeah, he let him go. He followed him off the freeway. Again, those CHP units are primarily responsible for state roads and interstate highways, and so he's going to head back towards the freeway. The airship is still overhead, and a different unit is now a ways back. Is that, we don't know if it's CHP or LAP. It's the same guy? Okay, so that CHP unit pulled way back, but still continuing in his direction. But you see that truck now about 2 or 3 blocks ahead of him. LAPD still overhead, and now the driver really just cruising down Rinaldi Street.
Over a period of time would be used for retrofitting and renovation that the team would have to assume, because in my understanding of what was discussed in the contract is that the county is not responsible for retrofitting the stadium.
Right.
The team is.
And I just want to remind you, I did have to, we temporarily lost our feed, we got it back. That white truck is, the police are in pursuit of that white truck. This is a relatively normal speed chase, but it's a chase. So it's that white truck that's in the center of the screen. Well, the second actually white truck, the one that's driving recklessly. It's that white truck. We're watching that one. I want to ask. These venues are so big. They're so. Look, this car's driving crazy. These venues are so big. How can they just up and abandon them? I don't understand. He just almost knocked this car off the road. How can they up and abandon a venue like that?
Well, they can't, and they really can't, because there's a lot that goes into stashing a Mayflower moving van and moving to another location. And the reason is...
Oh, he's out. What's he doing? Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Wow! I cannot believe that this... Did you see he's beating that guy off the... Andrew, he tried to knock that guy off the motorcycle.
Oh, there's a gun right there.
No.
Taser?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Well, look, this is somebody obviously...
Oh my goodness.
So did he just...
He just ripped that guy off the motorcycle, started punching him, and tried to steal his motorcycle. The guy fought him right back, and so he had to jump out and get back into his truck. Whoa!
Well,
This is Dobson?
This is a situation that went right into the motorcycle driver, and there was a brawl going on in the middle of that intersection, and now he's back in the truck, and you can see this guy zipping down Dobson at a high rate of speed, as we say, and if you look at it, there's no telling what's next in this outrageous car chase here. So, these are the things that when somebody goes over the edge,
whoa,
like you see now, anything's liable to happen, and it's an absolute threat to the basic safety of anybody that's either in the way.
I know, and
driver that this is becoming extremely dangerous. Now he's turning into an entry ramp and trying to make a turn. And there's into a bicycle rider that was just crossing the street, and that's what's so crazy about these types of car chases, that somebody could be on a bike, somebody could be on a motorcycle, somebody could be walking down the sidewalk.
And this guy just does not care.
It's pretty clear now he's in a residential neighborhood. He's off the main drag.
Yeah.
Right.
So...
What is this? Is this person chasing him in the red? Because that person's going at a high speed too. Look at him.
I mean, you're
Could this
enraging,
Yeah, I know. I was going to think, now do we have just angry, and somebody that's just angry, and... This person has to be chasing him in the red. Am I wrong?
No, there's no question about it. You're looking at somebody
that wouldn't be an undercover cop, would it? Or could it just be like road rage?
It looks like a regular commercial car, a regular car. But this guy is definitely extremely dangerous. Going down, trying to go back on the main street, and that red car possibly bumped into on that last turn is staying on his tail.
Wow.
This is This is the outrageousness of these types of things. Now he's going back on that main drag. Now we mentioned
What?
it was on
Yeah.
the Dobson
That was
Road
a while
area.
ago. We've done so
Now
many
he's turning
circles
off
now.
to what appears to be another side street. And I would caution, you know, anybody viewing right now, just by the way that
Discretion is
yeah,
advised.
discretion
This
is
is
certainly.
very-
Truly an unbelievable sight as law enforcement chased the suspect down the 15 freeway. That's where this situation came to a violent end.
They just keep coming. Full freeway shut. Fuck. Oh my god, they're literally on the like. I've never seen so many cop cars in my fucking life. They're behind me still. I don't even know what's happening. This is wild.
The suspect was shot and killed by police.
And a frantic scene in Harupa Valley where this all started. Police swarmed this area about 2:45 this afternoon. That followed the initial traffic stop about 2. We're also learning the suspect did not die at the scene. He was given emergency medical assistance, but then was taken to the hospital where he later died.
An emotional scene outside of the Riverside Community Hospital. That's where the deputy died.
Gunning down a Riverside County Sheriff's deputy. Sky Fox live over the 15 freeway in Norco, where a pursuit of that suspect ended. You can see the massive law enforcement presence and traffic gridlock in this area. Southbound lanes of the 15 will likely be shut down for hours for this investigation.